The clowns are not going to be able to hide anymore because that's really a lot of what the modern day society that we live in propagates is this clown age and this lack of percipience and this lack of understanding that there's a divinity within us all that is to be preserved, sacred, and respected. And a lot of people are frightened by your authenticity. A lot of people are going to be frightened, and yet they're going to be also admiring it. You know, it's like 50 Cent says respect comes from admiration and fear. And so when you are able to not only give off a powerful presence, but one that commands authority, one that commands respect, because you're putting in the work on yourself. People don't really like that a lot of the times. Some really, really like it, and yet they still have to respect it in some way because you're not going to be able to be denied once you get to a certain place. And all of those people that tried to put your name down and tried to tear down your name, well, the time has come, and the time will come, if you're still in that situation now, where you're going to get to that point where one of two things will happen, and this is just based off of my experience. Number one is they will be so caught off guard that you are actually putting in the work that those same people that actually liked you before are now starting to resent you because they're starting to see, oh shit, like he's going, or she's improving. You know, she's actually doing the thing. He's actually doing the thing. They're actually doing what they need to do. Or those that liked you before, I guess there's three things, but those that liked you before will like you even more because they're actually seeing that your potential is being fulfilled. And then finally, the people that didn't like you before may not still like you, which who cares? But I haven't really met many people that haven't liked me, and at least that haven't liked me that ended up changing their minds down the road. I've met a lot of people that like me, and I just speak in regards to liking me as a person. I'm in fact a fairly, I wouldn't say necessarily agreeable, but I'm a fairly compassionate person even when I do have certain kinds of interactions in my community that is not on YouTube. And even though I don't like to talk too much, I'm still trying to provide a sense of reverence and respect to those that I deem worthy of respect. And the women in my life that are worthy to be more in my circle, I guess you could say, the women that are actually assets, I will communicate with them. And the women that are absolute liabilities, which, to be honest, is most women, modern women anyway, I don't, they may be attractive, but I'm not going to even look their way. And that can piss them off. I learned that a lot recently. They will get really pissed off when you don't even acknowledge them. And it's like the more you work on yourself and the better that you become in yourself and just having that inner stability, people are going to want to just gravitate towards you. And yet some people that want to gravitate towards you are also like in a competition with you. And it was never really a competition with them for me. Yeah, I saw how good other people were doing, and I saw how bad some people were doing. And it motivated me all the same. It inspired me all the same. Because it showed me what I didn't want, and it showed me what I wanted. And it wasn't like I was jealous of these people. I was looking at them and I thought, wow, like they've really got something going for themselves. Good for them. But a lot of the times when people start to gravitate towards you just to make a competition and make it just something that it really isn't, that's when it gets personal for me. And that's when I will work behind the scenes day and night. Literally, I have. I've gone... for the last couple weeks, I've had several different nights where I've only gotten about 5 hours of sleep because I'm working on something and I'm just in a groove where why would I go to bed when I'm in the groove and I'm actually accomplishing things? I'm getting stuff done. Why would I go to bed and do that? And it also gives me the encouragement to know that a lot of other people aren't doing those kinds of things. It gives me the kind of encouragement to think, yeah, a lot of other people are not waking up at 4:30 in the morning after working a day job, and then also not only working the day job, but doing their side business, making videos for their YouTube channel, making and cooking their own food, cleaning, doing all the chores that they need to do, and then working some more for another couple hours after that, just to go to bed and do it all over again, and only get 5 hours of sleep in the process. I don't tell many people about those kinds of things because I don't need to, but it's like, and I'm not going to even go into the details of what I'm doing because it doesn't really matter. What matters is I'm in a position in my life where I can do those things. And I hope that you're in a position in your life where you can do some of those things as well. I think genuinely that a lot of the times when people start to underestimate you, even though they know that you are better than them, and I'm not saying that to be like arrogant, it's just that you are someone that's of moral character. You're somebody that actually has standards. You're actually able to communicate those standards. You're actually able to say, no, this is how I want things. And if that's not what you're offering, then we're not compatible, and that's okay. It literally blows people's minds when you're able to say, yeah, I guess we're just not compatible in that way. They're like, what? Like, aren't we supposed to have a fight or something? Like, aren't we supposed to get into an argument? It's like, no, we don't need to. I like to reduce the amount of potential conflict as much as possible while also being open to the possibility of conflict. And that's something else that a lot of these people in the modern day society that we live in don't know how to do. They know how to hide. They know how to hide, and they know how to throw their stones and then hide their hands. And they do that because they don't want the accountability. They don't want to actually be held accountable for the things that they're doing and the things that they're not. And I found that, especially over the past few weeks, like, I just need to take more control over my life. And I already thought that I had a decent amount of control over what I was doing and the choices that I'm making, but it's like, wow, it's just not enough. And I'm not trying to be like a control freak about it. It's just, listen, you guys need to protect your energy. Like, the people that want your attention don't always deserve it. And they'll come up to you and they'll just want to say hi, and it's like, yeah, hi, you know, like I'm okay with just a nod personally, because I don't feel the need to talk much unless I need to. But a lot of these people don't even deserve to know what you've got going on. And doesn't I don't know if there's an exact verse in the Bible that says this. I'll have to look it up afterward, but I'm sure there's a verse in the Bible that says something like, I might have to look it up now, but it's guarding your tongue. And it's a verse like, oh, yes, this is what it is. Watch your tongue and keep your mouth shut, and you will stay out of trouble. Watch your words and hold your tongue, and you'll save yourself a lot of grief. The one who guards his mouth and his tongue keeps himself out of trouble. So those are a few different translations of the verse, and that is Proverbs 21:23 for anybody that is curious. But I mean, my paraphrasing would have been something like, when you know how to guard your tongue, you also convey a certain kind of maturity and wisdom about you. And there's another verse in the Bible that says, even the fool, when he's silent, people think that he's wise, something like that. And, that's generally true. And it's almost like, this is what's the craziest thing that I've noticed. The people that you once knew, or that you've known for a few years, especially the people like in your hometown or whatever, when they start to see you level up, they don't really see how much you're leveling up until they have no choice but to look at it. And then even when they look at it, they're going to try to deny it. But then you have certain strangers that you meet, and they treat you with way more respect and dignity. They're like, oh, yep, nope, that guy's for real. That girl's for real. And it's like, where the hell was this? I didn't know people could actually give me this kind of respect. The respect I always felt as if I deserved. And not just because of the things that I was doing, but because of the things that, well, not because of the things that I was saying, but because of the things that I was doing. The way that I was treating people. It's like, I always knew that this was inside me. Just as much as I know the people watching this video, you know that this is inside you. And sometimes that's why you got to keep moving. Like Jesus. Jesus was, I wouldn't say hated in his hometown per se, but like that's why he had to leave. It's because people didn't want to accept him as the Messiah. They didn't want to accept him as the Savior. Even though he showed them miracles, he showed them everything he could possibly have showed them. And yet they still denied. And he was still crucified. And so we're going to have to understand, as followers of Christ, that we will be prosecuted in the same way to some degree. Probably not anywhere near the extent of being crucified, thank God, literally and figuratively. But it's more about focusing on your journey and letting the fools make a fool of themselves. It's like if you always tried to calm down every dog that barks or whatever that you walk by, or you try to acknowledge every single dog that barks at you when you walk by, you're going to get a headache just by being in the world. And that's no way to be. Be like a lion. Have you ever, do you think the lions are bothered by anything other than when they're hungry or not? I don't see that's the case. And so focus on your journey and let the people that want to try to destroy you for no reason, because they have nothing better to do, let them try. Make it personal with yourself if you need to. Because if you can take it personally and use it as fuel and not just for like a grudge, that's where you'll be able to find a much deeper strength, an inner strength. So, with that being said, peace be with you. Till next time.